YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, back in Total War Rome 2. I still don't have any replays of my own, but honestly, my viewers have been extremely gracious and actually overflowing me with replays from all kinds of games. I have way more than I can use right now. So be patient with me. I will get more games. It's just busy right now at work, and it's just difficult for me to get a whole lot of focus in here. So I just really want to keep the content coming to you, and we'll worry less about whether or not I play it right now. Obviously, I will be playing stuff. I'm not just going to do this stuff forever, but we've got some good ones on here, to be honest. Better than the replays that I get for myself most of the time. I know most of you who want to see my replays really want to see it just so that I can talk through the strategy. Get it. Totally understand that, and that's why I'm going to always try and provide that for you. But from a standpoint of just giving you something different, this should be fun. So this one was sent in, I think, by this Yawning Firefly from Wolf Clan, which we've seen him before, but we got Obelix in here as well, who's given us stuff in the past, and I think I've seen Mr. Iggy X here as well. Maybe I played him, I can't remember exactly, I get confused with some of the names. We got Nervii and Sparta, so that's an interesting combination, versus Suebi Carthage, which is also an interesting combination. I like it because Sparta and Carthage, not exactly on the same level, but both of them are not top tier factions, and then Nervii and Suebi, again, not top tier barbarian factions, but good ones. So this ought to be an interesting trade-off. Let's go ahead and play this and see what we end up with. Here's the Spartan army. It looks like 4 Gorgos. I think I see a couple of Perioikoi pikemen, 6 Spartan hoplites, Perioikoi spears. Looks like a couple of royal Spartans and some citizen cav. Carthage is rocking 4 Carthaginian cav, Balearic slingers. Looks like Libyan. Let's see, we had some Libyan hoplites right here in the center. Interesting place for them. Let's check out the back line. Libyans. That one disappeared. Samnites, Libyans, Samnites. So it looks like Libyans and Samnites. Let's jump over here to the Nervii, who are intermixed with Sparta, so this ought to be interesting. I'm seeing some Germanic scout riders, which I like. Mighty Horse, also a great unit. Let's see what they got up front. Levy MLG Freeman, it looks like. So there's 5 of them, 2 Celtic slingers, Oathsworn, 4 Oathsworn and a Fierce Sword. So basically the Nervii is acting as the heavy punishing infantry, Sparta's more of a holding force, and then the Nervii are taking up the better part of the mobile component as well. That makes sense. The good use of each faction's strength. Suebi and Carthage, however, are lined up in their own formations, so merely supporting rather than literally using each other here. So let's see. 4 Spear Levy up front. Germanic Slingers, excellent choice for the fact that you could be up against Sparta. These guys would be great at absorbing the volleys of more punishing, more expensive skirmishers. So I like that a lot. Let's take a look at the infantry lineup. I see 2 Wodenaz. I see 3... I think 4 Swordmaster. No. So it's 3 Wodenaz, 3... No, it is 4 Swordmasters. Swordmaster. Yeah, 4 Swordmasters. Looks like 3 Wodenaz. Germanic Scout Riders. Yeah, the Germanic Slingers, Spear Levy. Looks like we got it all. So that's kind of the armies. It is a 25-minute remainder in the replay, roughly. Let's just kind of see what happens. Carthage is out here using the Balearic Slingers to push back the mercenary Germanic Scouts. If the Nervii does not retreat here, they are about to take a pounding from the Balearic Slingers early on. That is not what they want. Kind of seems like the Balearic Slingers are almost in range. Yep, here comes the shots. So, not sure if they'll get a kill on the opening volley. Cavalry tend to have a little more health because you got the man and the horse. Yep, already losing riders, so this is rough for the Nervii. It's a mistake. Definitely want to get away from that. 8 losses to the Balearic Slingers pretty quickly. So skirmishing advantage, I think, easily goes to Carthage, Suebi. The Gorgo skirmishers, while they're decentish for their price, they're no match for Balearics, and they're certainly no match for the Germanic Slingers. They are in terms of damage. They aren't in terms of missile block chance. This little Germanic wood shield here gets like a 40% missile block chance. That's what makes Germanic Slingers good. It's not that they do a lot of killing. It's that they prevent themselves from being killed, and the enemy uses all their ammo, which works to your favor. So we do have an interesting bit going on here, though. You'll see that the formation of the Suebi Carthage lineup here is going to be a little bit wider. If you just kind of line up the infantry, they're going to overlap the Nervii Sparta formation here. That could potentially be used to their favor. From a strategic standpoint, though, what you would want to do with Sparta and Nervii is you probably just want to pick a target. It's kind of hard to say who might be the better target. You've got 4 Oathsworn, which can do a lot of wreckage, but I mean, you're going to be outnumbered, and the Spartan infantry is not going to be nearly as good. I think I would want to match my Oathsworn versus the Suebi, and then let my Spartans match up against the Carthaginians, because I think the Suebi would tear up the Spartans way too bad and too quickly to really be effective in combat. So that's how I would want to match it up if I were the Sparta Nervii team. That's just me. We'll see. Most of these players probably play at a higher skill level than I do, so we'll just kind of get a feel for how they play it out and see if what they decide to do is anything like what I would decide to do. A lot of skirmishing going on, cat and mouse games, baiting, feints, all that kind of stuff, which is typical in the early game. Trying to draw out javelins, just, you know, everybody's kind of jockeying for position, trying to establish some sort of dominance. Nice job here trying to singling out a Balearic, but the other Baleric's moving in, so these Gorgo skirmishers need to get out of there, so, you know, another good move. Nice thing about going up against Carthage is that their spears do not have javelins, so you can press the issue a little better than, say, a faction who has javelins. But see, the Spartan youths don't have javelins here either. So yeah, that could be a problem. But yeah, right here, Carthage really can't punish these cavalry too badly. And this is a way for them to kind of push the Balearic slingers around and try and get more shots with the Gorgos. Though you're going to take some damage on your cavalry, so there's a bit of a trade-off there. But if the Gorgo skirmishers can gang up properly on the Balearics, they might do okay. But this is kind of a risk here too, where this Balearic might be able to start hitting this one and wipe it out. 3 Balearics are going to be a pretty tough match for 4 Gorgos in my mind. I statistically don't know if that's correct, but it's dangerous because you can blob up a lot of fire here. Dangerous situation here for Sparta. In fact, they are overextended. Some of these Gorgos are going to die at this point. Definitely going to die. So the Carthaginian cap pulls out. I guess it didn't want to get overcommitted, and that's understandable. So the Gorgo skirmisher is lucky to survive there. Gives the Balearic slingers a chance to maybe turn the tide a little bit. Honestly, if you felt like a sacrifice, you could sacrifice these cavalry through the late Libyans, but I mean, if the Carthaginian cav answered too quickly, it wouldn't be worth it. But if the Carthaginian cav gets distracted over here, you could knock these units over because they're in so thin of a formation and still get to these guys. But again, you have to be careful about supporting cav because you don't want to just throw away your unit. I mean, it's one strategy you can use if someone's using thin spear lines to protect and not bringing their cavalry nearby for extra support. It is a good way to get to skirmishers. It's legitimate. Your cavalry knocks the enemy to the ground and moves on through. It's not a pull through in that case. So still a lot of skirmishing going on. Let's go ahead and fast forward, see what we get out of it. Shots being, just fired back and forth between the Gorgos. We've got the Celtic slingers up here now as well. So the Germanic slingers are going to be a big problem, not from a kill standpoint, but they're going to be hard to wipe out, and shooting at them is just not going well for the Celtic slingers. You can see they're getting crapped on, and it's only by it's a 2v2 there too, because you got the third Germanic slinger out here holding all these guys at bay. So Germanic slingers are tough to deal with. They really are. The best way to kill them is in melee, and that is sometimes easier said than done. So some of the Gorgos starting to waver. Let's check the status of the Balearics. This unit's kind of beat up. Little bit of damage there. Tiny bit of damage there, so nothing big. These Spartan youths almost took a charge, but then the Carthaginian cav takes a lot of hit point damage there. Both cavalry units from both sides have taken some damage. Here comes some scout riders. They're going to push back this mighty horse. I love the use of Jav Cav in Rome 2. It's very appropriate. Ever since they did the Emperor Edition, Jav Cav has just been wonderful in Rome 2. Balearic Slinger wavering here. Gorgo Skirmisher came back. Gorgo Skirmishers are taking definite damage, but I think they're doing a pretty good job, actually, kind of trading with these more expensive Balearic Slingers. Let's see, so this is like a 1,500 and something denarii investment, and the Gorgo Skirmishers is a little less than that. So, not a bad engagement so far for the Gorgos. I think the Spartan player is doing good. Looks like they've kind of reformed with Spartans on the flank and Nervii in the center, so they're more potent infantry in the center. Interesting thing to see how that works, though, is that Sparta may just find themselves overwhelmed on the flanks, but I mean that could give Nervii potential to kind of punch through a center and start to wrap around. to support where Sparta may get overwhelmed on the flanks. We'll see. It's kind of interesting to see how this is going to go down. Celtic slingers are getting wiped out by Germanic slingers, but getting the Germanic slingers to waste ammo on the Celtic slingers is kind of a win also as well, just so they don't have it for late game and do some damage to your more expensive infantry. Now, Germanic slingers are good in late game. Once units have taken a lot of hit point damage, they can get a lot more kills, so I would just use Germanic slingers to absorb hits in the beginning of a game, and then try and use them to get kills in later games. So like save their ammo and just let them tank out damage early in the game if you have the opportunity. Now you're gonna have to play that one by ear. So Mighty Horse getting tagged a little bit by some scout riders. Looks like some of the mercenary Germanic scouts are... I can't see the range on these guys. They're not firing, but they've apparently gotten some kills, or someone has over here. 450. Okay, it was a spear levy volley that did it, and a little bit of slinger action. Spartan cavalry drives... Oh, wait, never mind. Got confused. Thought that was a Suebi cav unit for a minute. So I got an engagement here between spear levy and levy freemen. Looks like the spear levy are considerably better from a melee attack and defense standpoint, so that ought to go in their favor pretty handsomely. Did I just call the spear levy handsome? Ew. Alright, so late Libyan hoplites, this is what I was talking about. Gonna charge, try and get to the Balearic slingers, but cavalry was nearby for the Carthaginians, so a good defense. Though this is the tactic that I mentioned, and it is one way that you can try to get to skirmishers. This is a bit hasty with the Spartan cavalry. I don't think it's that important to get rid of that Balearic slinger at this point, because you still have Gorgo skirmishers around who can do that job without sacrificing your cavalry. But still, very slow engagement. There's about 12 minutes left. Let's kind of see what's happening. We got some Nervii infantry moving up. Spartan youths moving up to engage late Libyans. That ought to be an easy win for the late Libyans against the Spartan youths. Oh yeah, they're gonna win that. So let's see, Nervii pushing kind of towards Carthage. Sparta is kind of turning away from Suebi. Could be dangerous to leave your flank open to the Suebi because they have potentially Ariovistus. Ariovistus is present. No, he's not. What the heck? No Ariovistus? Wow. Huh. Suebi without Ariovistus. That's like ice cream without cream. Doesn't make much sense. So anyway, Citizen Cav out here getting engaged by 2 Carthaginian Cav and a Mighty Horse. So the Mighty Horse, of course, with the Citizen Cav. This is not a good engagement for the Carthaginian Cav. They're too close to Germanic Scout Rider support, Spartan Hoplite support, more Mighty Horse. This is definitely not a good engagement for Sparta, or for Carthage. They really should stop committing units over here because this is going to go very poorly for Carthage, very poorly. Up the center, though, you have Carthage killing some of the Gorgo skirmishers. Not sure how much ammo was there. This was kind of throwing away the Spartan youths. The fierce swords are going to absolutely destroy the late Libyans if given the opportunity. There's some Oathsworn kind of just standing here, though they're not under fire from anybody, and they're going to get a very, very nice javelin volley and charge on those Libyan infantry. Fierce swords are going to wreck all over these hoplites, just insta-wreck, and they're going to go ahead and charge through, and that's probably a good idea, because otherwise they wouldn't get the charge on these Libyans. So these fierce swords are going to rack up a ton of kills off 2 charges. Oathsworn supporting, so this fight is going to easily go in favor of the Nervii right here. That is a kind of a poor engagement for Carthage at the moment, but we'll see how that turns out. Nice use of the Carthaginian Cav here, though, to disrupt the Oathsworn and try and limit its charge against the Libyan infantry. That's about all you can do. It wasn't the greatest charge, but it's definitely what needs to be done. Carthage still has a lot of infantry on this flank, though, and it's going to do pretty darn good versus these Spartan hoplites. But there's a lot of Nervii Cav. There's another Spartan hoplite coming in. Royal Spartans pushing that way as well. So Carthage is going to have to watch out. They're going to get overpowered. Suebi is a little bit far away for support, and they're just kind of attacking holding units here for Nervii that aren't that important, while Carthage is over here getting wailed on. So I think Obelix is playing as Carthage, and he is definitely getting outgunned right now by 2 players, and Suebi needs to get over here to help support. And it looks like that's what they're trying to do. We'll see if it's too late, though. Carthage has some rough engagements here. The Oathsworn, though, not getting kills particularly fast, which is surprising. The Fierce Swords now are worn out after the charge, and they're not doing all that well. So that engagement I thought would end very quickly for Carthage, and it did not. Back here, though, 2 Oathsworn just crapping all over Libyan infantry. That's going to be an engagement over very quick. This Oathsworn ought to do very well versus the Swordmasters on the charge. They're going to do a headhunt, and they've got Spartan support here too. Wodenaz Spears, though, are going to... I don't know how well they'll do versus Spartan Hoplites. They have better attack, but I would assume that their overall like morale and armor and other stuff's going to be lower. But they are getting a very nice charge on these Spartan Hoplites. This Oathsworn should get a lot of kills, though it is going to get overwhelmed by numbers. These Oathsworn probably ought to be pushing this way too. Let's see how the Sparta-Carthage engagement's going out here. Spartan Hoplites holding out pretty decent versus the mercenary Samnite warriors. Doing okay versus the Libyan infantry. They're about to get rear charged by Royal Spartans. This is going to be very ugly for Carthage. Carthage is in big trouble. They have a noble cavalry, and it's not going to be able to do anything because there's 3 enemy cavalry units here keeping an eye on it. So this is not a good choice for Carthage at the moment. We'll see. Gonna get a charge into this cav fight. That's good. Hurt the mighty horse here. Let's just kind of see. Yeah, Carthage is definitely... Oh yeah, here Royal Spartans into the back of the Carthaginian infantry. This is gonna be rough. Samnites are gonna get whooped on by Spartans here. Let's see. Royal Spartans here in the center too, as well as the Fierce Sword, as well as an Oathsworn that's just kind of hanging out for now. Looks like the Oathsworn is still chasing routing units. This could be a glitched replay there, so we'll kind of see. This Oathsworn has gotten a surprising number of kills considering it's up against 2 Swordmasters. Spartan Hoplites holding out against more Swordmasters. Wodenaz Spears have caught up with Skirmishers and Spartan Youths. They're going to do extremely well in this engagement. So will these. Let's see over here. Citizen Cav taking out Germanic Scout Riders. Pikemen just trying to make themselves useful, which good luck with that. And there's a Swordmaster way over here on this flank that's not doing anything. It's possible this replay is a little glitchy. I don't know. Oh, look at this Germanic Scout Rider here throwing javelins into the back of the Oathsworn. That's rough for the Oathsworn. Carthage is indeed getting wrapped up, and Suebi's actions are just not coming through fast enough to turn the tide of battle at this point. So let's see. Charges incoming on the Wodenaz. The Wodenaz are going to countercharge. The Wodenaz Spears are going to just get slaughtered by Royal Spartans. Yeah, that's going to be an ugly engagement. Wodenaz Spears are worth like a praiseworthy unit, but this is not the type of fight they were intended for. Much better in rear charges against light targets or against lighter flanking units, obviously. Nice map glitch back here, by the way, too. So, yeah, there you go. Royal Spartans are going to do very well there. Let's see. Suebi's still got a lot of units back here that are kind of slow to get into combat where they're needed. Carthage ends up holding out much longer than I expected over here. The Noble Cavalry getting 42 kills for only 4 losses. Now they're kind of behind some of these units. Let's see if the Mighty Horse moves to intercept. They need to. Mighty Horse just not paying attention at the moment, and they're going to get charged by the Carthaginian Noble Cav. So the Mighty Horse is going to get wrecked here. Yeah, definitely not going to be good for the Mighty Horse. What's the weight class here? Very heavy shot cav. Yeah, they're going to get torn apart on the charge. So the Noble Cav actually getting some kills here that I didn't expect. So that's good to see. I mean, it's a unit that you rarely get to see do a whole lot in combat. Fierce Swords with 131 kills is certainly not bad. Let's see what we got here. Oathsworn just kind of tanking it out against Swordmasters. Oathsworn have better attack and I believe better damage as well. So they're just a superior unit, plus their weight is superior. Mighty Horse are going to clean up these Germanic Slingers. It's definitely what you want to see. You don't want those guys in late game. This Oathsworn out here is still alive, 127 kills. It was previously fighting off 2 Swordmasters, so just to give you an idea of how superior the Oathsworn are, which is very superior. These Libyan infantry still alive, but they're about to get wrecked by an Oathsworn. This is a fight that Libyan infantry never want to see. They are not stacked up for this type of thing. They're going to get barbarian rolled. So Swordmasters are the only infantry really left with any hope of defeating, and the Suebi general's in very good shape. Very good shape. There's a pikeman around though. They're going to have to watch out. It could do well in supporting a unit like the Hoplite, so while the Hoplite tanks damage, the pikes can, you know, click orders to push in and get more kills. This is a Spartan Hoplite. It's a Perioikoi pikeman though. Still, Spartan pikemen tend to have slightly better stats than other pikes of similar cost, seems like, from an armor standpoint. I don't know about attack or all the rest. Here comes the Carthaginian noble cavalry. It's going to rear charge these Spartan hoplites who are engaged with swordmasters and wodenaz. It's going to be an effective charge, no doubt about that. So the Spartan hoplites are going to feel the effects of that. It has started them to waver. So a nice charge and retreat here. 131 kills, very good job. The what's otherwise a pretty underwhelming cavalry unit. Periokoi pikemen going to get rear charged and destroyed before they can really cause the damage to these swordmasters. So again, the noble cavalry being used very well. Though it's going to want to get away from these royal Spartans, that's for sure. That's a fight that the swordmasters can continue. Swordmasters are going to get charged, though, by the royal Spartans, so that is very bad for the swordmasters. Because royal Spartans are a very tough unit in melee, even against a sword unit. You need the charge with that sword unit, otherwise the royal Spartans are going to tank out a substantial amount of damage. Oathsworn moving in. Let's see, this is actually not looking so good. Well, this is pretty darn close, actually. Good infantry left on both sides, a little bit of cavalry left for Carthage here that has the potential to do some pretty good wreckage. It could really hurt this general out here too. If it just pulls away, gets a wide charge against these thin late Libyans, it can pretty much... Oh, never mind, that's on their team. Ha! I'm an idiot. Swordmasters going into Headhunt, but they did not get a charge versus the Oathsworn, who are also in Headhunt. This noble cavalry badly needs to charge that Oathsworn right there. Just forget the royal Spartans for now. That Oathsworn could have taken substantial damage from a noble cavalry charge, but it looks like they're trying to clear out their general here, who has taken some damage now. Wasn't that damaged a moment ago, but they are now. Let's see if the Oathsworn gets the charge here from the noble cavalry. Nope, noble cavalry still pulling away. Oathsworn is starting to be defeated. So running out of Oathsworn here is going to be bad. But let's see, 2 Royal Spartans unit left, and that's a lot of killing power. And the Suebi here are going to lose a Swordmaster and a Wodenaz. So that's a rough loss. The Noble Cavalry is looking to get into the Mighty Horse. The Mighty Horse do get a counter charge, so this may not be great. In prolonged melee, Mighty Horse wins, but on the charge, the weight class and charge bonus of the Noble Cavalry is going to be superior. Let's see if they can wipe out the Mighty Horse fast enough, though, to stay away from the Oathsworn. Looks like the Carthaginian Cav is fleeing, which is going to make them take some losses. They probably should have just stayed there for a minute, but that's hard to say. Oathsworn and Swordmasters duking it out in the long run. That favors Oathsworn, but there is a rear charge incoming from a spear levy. They should just ignore that Oathsworn and go for the rear charge here, though they are not going to. Let's see. The Suebi just lost more Swordmasters, so it's looking pretty bad for the Carthage-Suebi alliance at this point. It's been a pretty close fight, though. The Spear Levy did get the rear charge. The Swordmasters definitely need that help, but there's now more Oathsworn inbound. The cavalry would have been more useful over here against the swords rather than charging into these Royal Spartans, which are all braced in phalanx. This is not going to bode well for the Noble Cavalry. They have done a spectacular job. They've gotten a lot of kills. But yeah, charging into the Royal Spartans, they got Warcried. Definitely not a good position for the Noble Cav. Great charge here too. The Noble Cavalry, again, lots of kills. Very respectable number of kills on this unit that's typically not so good. Just too many Nervii Spartan units left. But let's watch Carthage go down in a blaze of glory. Well played by the Carthaginian player. I thought the Carthaginian player was going to get wrecked pretty bad. In the end, I actually thought they performed pretty darn well considering the odds they were up against. And there's Noble Cavalry here too. I doubted it early on, and the Noble Cavalry had a pretty solid performance. No doubt about it. So definitely enjoyed this battle. It was a fairly close one in the end, though definitely swung in favor of the Sparta and Nervii alliance. Let's take a look here. So Yawning Fire, let's see, Mr. Prankles here got the most kills on this team. Mr. Iggy X got a lot of kills with Suebi. That is definitely a respectable number of kills. Yeah, Obelix here with Carthage. I thought all things considered, he ended up doing fairly well with Carthage. I mean, his mainline infantry did take a beating, but getting 130 kills on a late Libyan is brilliant. 114 for the Samnite, not bad. 280 kills here is just really, really nice. So definitely good job there. Let's see, Sparta, lots of kills on these Royal Spartans. Decent, well, great number of kills here considering how many were left. Let's see, nice kills here on these ones. So yeah, just trying to get a look at these different stats. So for Suebi, look at these Wodenaz. That is, these guys just do a great job. Swordmasters did pretty good. Spear Levy, this is incredible here. Look how many kills these Spear Levy get. You can't argue with that. 205 on that Wodenaz Spear. Really nice job by the Suebi player. I probably understated what the Suebi player was doing in that battle now that I get out here and look at the kills. So definitely impressive. Hope you all enjoyed this. Thank you to all the players who participated. I definitely enjoyed watching it. I hope you enjoyed it as well. I'll be back with more Total War Rome 2 action as soon as possible. HeirofCarthage, signing out for now.